Welcome to Beyond the Next Chapter. I'm your host, Whitney Clark. And on this week's episode, we're exploring what many call the quarter-life crisis with the woman who's been dubbed the Gen Z Carrie Bradshaw, and that is Eli Rallo. You've probably seen her videos on TikTok. She went viral in 2020 and since then has grown her platform to more than 1 million followers. She shares her thoughts on everything from mental health to relationships to books and pop culture. An ex-theater kid turned author and internet creator. She's out with a new memoir called Does Anyone Else Feel This Way? Essays on Conquering the Quarter-Life Crisis. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So this is your second book. How are you feeling? How are you feeling about the release?
I'm feeling really good about it, honestly. This book was quite meditative and intense to write, and I'm happy to kind of get it off my conscience and let it be for the people now.
So in the book, you talk about your first viral video and how you actually meant to kind of just share that with friends, and then it ended up being shared publicly. I do have to ask, does your family still have the snack jar?
Yes, we have like the vessel.
Yeah.
And then like so many vessels. Because after that first one, there was quite a few others, of course, and we got really into it. We're at, all the stores, like all the stores that sell things like that, like Michael's and everything like that. So we have a bunch, but we don't like fill it up on the regular because my parents are like empty nesters now. At the time, my brothers were in college. I was a recent graduate. Yeah. I was living at home during the pandemic. I also have one here in Texas where I'm recording from now downstairs. It actually is full right now because I had filled it recently.
What's like your favorite thing that's in there right now? Your favorite snack?
Oh my gosh. I like really have a problem with like sweets. Like I really like sugar. It's like if I could, I would only eat sweets and sugar for the whole day. Like I don't really want to eat real food. I just eat sweets. So it's such a hard question. I love M&Ms. Like I'm a big M&M person. Like M&Ms have always been my favorite candy. And I don't think it's like people don't discuss M&Ms the way they should. M&Ms are like number one for me.
I also love M&Ms, and there's something special to me about M&M minis for whatever reason. I don't know why I love the minis.
So good. They're so good.
Love them. I love in your book, the one that's coming out now, you talk about you wonder if you're ever going to not just want to eat sour gummy candy. And I'll tell you, I'm 37, going to turn 38 next year, and most of my thoughts throughout the day are about summer sour gummy candy. So I don't think we ever grow out of it.
That doesn't happen. Like I always feel like adults like are not like eating sugar foods and junk, but like that's all I want to have. So
and in your book you talk about what it means to be an adult. I mean, through writing this, what did you learn about being an adult? What will readers be kind of learning about your thoughts on adulthood?
I think I realized that the feeling that I was so hell-bent on finding that would accompany adulthood doesn't exist. And the more that I talk to people like in age ranges above mine, because I'm 27, the more I realize that like these feelings don't go anywhere. We just get stronger and better at managing them. And I think there's something kind of comforting in that, despite the fact that it's also a little depressing. And it just makes me feel like I'm like girl who's going to be okay, like marked safe from the quarter life crash out. But I'm sure like there's going to be new crash outs and different crash outs like on my horizon.
Yeah, I feel like I've had a crash out every like 5 to 10 years, but that's okay. Mm-hmm. They all get a little bit easier and they all get a little bit better. You said This book was meditative. Kind of run me through your writing process with this.
Sure. So I think it's depending on the essay that you choose, a lot of it I feel like I was hashing out on the page, which can be very therapeutic. And I also think kind of reads that way. And then a lot of it I came in like knowing what the thesis statement of the essay would be. I think it depends on like what essay you're picking out. But overall, it was like a very meditative sort of like religious process in a way where I feel like I was like coming to this practice to sort of like sort out my own emotions and also find little nuggets of gold. The essays were all much longer than the completed ones ended up being, but they are very like run-on sentence feel, very like brain spiral word vomit, but I think done eloquently. It was, I wouldn't necessarily say therapeutic. I think like I needed more therapy than it gave me, but I would say meditative is a good word to describe the process.
What can readers expect in the essays? You talk about, as we mentioned, adulthood, you talk about relationships. What other things are you exploring here?
Social media and like our online realities comparatively to our actual lived life experiences. I definitely write a lot about that. I write a lot about friendship and friendship breakups and sort of just the ways that we change and kind of how we anchor to ourselves in spite of all of that change. I'm excited to see what people pull out of the book. I think that was like my favorite part of the first one was, going on this journey with readers and hearing their feedback in terms of like, this is a part that really stuck out to me, or this was my favorite part. I know with my first book, like the main feedback I got was that their favorite parts were the parts about friendship. So I'm really, really excited for people to read this one because it has a lot of friendship.
I feel like friendship breakups are sometimes very underrated. I mean, I've had like one major friendship breakup in my life, and I probably think about that more than any other romantic breakup that
Yeah.
I've ever had. What sort of are your thoughts towards friendship sort of falling outs? What have you learned? What are you going to be chatting with readers about?
I think it's the most like harrowing and heartbreaking universal experience that we never talk about. Like relationship advice is given in like crazy doses all over the internet. You can find relationship advice tailored to your exact needs. There's a grace given to people going through breakups. Like we know what that feels like and we talk about it and every song in the world is about it and every TV show is about it and everybody's gone through it and we discuss it into the ground. And for some reason with friendship, we just don't apply that same method of like discourse.
Mm-hmm.
And the grace isn't given. And I think the things that are unsaid and left unsaid grow the most upsetting and emotional. I
Mm-hmm.
just feel like it's really, really, really a lot to swallow for people. And we never, ever, ever discuss it. And I can't understand why.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to be somebody that is known for talking about things that are difficult, but especially in the vein of friendship, because it happens to everyone. Like everybody I've ever spoken to about this book and my upcoming project, which is also about friendship breakups, have have all had a story. Like your own, like the way that you told me I've gone through a friendship breakup. Everyone has had their own story. And it just shows me how little we talk about something that really does impact everyone.
What has helped you get through those types of breakups?
I'm a very research oriented person. I like answers, and not everything has answers. And I think I definitely explore that in this book. But there's this psychologist, psychiatrist, I believe the name is Dunbar,
Mhm.
and their findings are this thing that you can look up called Dunbar's number, and they sort of went through and tried to determine how many relationships the human brain could actually have. And I think the final number was like 150 people that you can like actually know. And then it sort of becomes smaller and more intimate. And like the final finding was that you can have like 5 of the closest tier of friends. So for me, as I've walked through life, I've certainly lost friends and I've gained others. And I've realized that in order to gain people to add to that closest inner circle, people would have had to fall either further away from that or just fall out with me overall. I think it's impossible and improbable that we keep all of our friends that we've ever had for our whole life. People are going to grow in different directions. People are going to not require the same things they once did. People are going to change. So making peace with it through that and that number, Dunbar's number, has really helped me to realize that like some of the friends and best friends I have who are in my wedding and are going to be a part of my life hopefully forever, they weren't in my life until my 20s. And if I didn't fall out with other people, I wouldn't have been able to fall into relationships with them.
Yeah. I love the idea too of always being also open to new friends. I mean, you could have a best friend that you've potentially haven't even met yet.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Like I look at so many people who are older than me in my life and like watch them make best friends like well into their 20s and 30s. Like that part of your life is never over. No,
Mhm.
no part of your life is ever over. I think that's another thing that I talk about in the book.
Yeah. I love that. You talk also about often loneliness, and study after study has shown that Gen Z is in particular really susceptible to loneliness. What has helped you through that? How do you cope with feelings of loneliness?
You know, I think that when I feel particularly lonely, I have to ask myself, like, am I alone and is that why I feel lonely, or am I like lonely and surrounded by people? Like, I think I need to identify the source of that feeling and that emotion. Like, do I feel isolated in my experience that like nobody feels the way I do? Do I feel isolated in that like I wish I had more people around me as a support system? Do I feel like I need more from my people? Like, I sort of try to identify, why I'm feeling that way. And simultaneously, I am very big on not disregarding any of your emotions, like even jealousy, even like the nasty ones or the ones that we perceive to be nasty. I try to be pretty connected to them and connected to those. So when I feel lonely, I don't try to stave it off, but rather like get to know it and kind of be inquisitive with it. Because I think that the sooner that you like shake hands with your feelings, the easier it is to ask them to like gently go away.
Mhm. How hard was it for you to get to the point where you are now, where you're accepting of those things that people try to avoid?
I think it took me a really long time because like it's so much easier to be like, oh, I hate feeling jealous and like why them and not me and like all these feelings. I think jealousy is like the easiest one to describe in this way. But I just realized like, why does it have to be like that? Like this feels so icky. Why can't it be a signal?
Mhm.
Why can't it be a signal that somebody else has something that I want? And them having it doesn't make me any like less likely to get it. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah, totally. I know what you mean. I think it's very easy. I mean, I work in a field that's very competitive and it can be very easy to be jealous of other people's accomplishments, but then once you start celebrating other people's accomplishments like your own, you feel the same level of joy as if it was you yourself that was doing something.
Also, you can't expect to be showered with affection and praise if you don't do that for others. Like
Mhm.
if you're not in the audience for people, why would they come into the audience for you? And I don't think everything needs to be transactional in that way, but you can't expect the applause if you're not a part of the applause.
Agreed. And it doesn't applauding for someone else doesn't take anything away from you either. And that can
100%.
be a really hard thing, especially with social media. And speaking of social media, you've developed this platform, you've developed this following. Uh, is it stressful for you to post? Like when you're posting your thoughts on something, are you stressed about it? Do you like second guess yourself? How have you become so comfortable with sharing so much with your audience?
It's definitely like second nature now. Like I couldn't prescribe a particular set of instructions or ways to do it. I am just like, okay, I'm going to do this. I definitely think a little bit more. Like I was younger when I started. So there are things that I'm like, you know what? We don't need to share that with the internet. We can keep that to ourselves. It does kind of feel like in the nicest way possible, like when you share so much that you're being like hunted in a way, like people are hunting for information about you and like that part of it does feel a little anxiety inducing even when their intention is like strictly good and all beautiful and wonderful. You can feel like, okay, like, oh my goodness, like if I don't give my thought on this, people are going to presume XYZ.
Yeah.
I've just had to become comfortable in that, like, I know who I am and I know what my values are and I know what I believe and they don't need to know everything,
Hmm.
but they know a lot and I'm grateful for them. And we have a really beautiful relationship. It's very symbiotic. I think it's a good community. And I think I'm just comfortable with it now, honestly. It feels like a home. Like when
Yeah.
TikTok got banned for like that 12-hour period, I really did feel like it was my home. And like now my home, I don't know where it is. I feel really, really comfortable on that app. And for better and for worse.
I mean, what to me, and I've talked to other people about this, there is something I feel like I could post anything on TikTok and I don't worry about what people say, what people think. But Instagram is like a whole different situation for me for some reason. I don't know if you have any thoughts or insights as to the audiences on either app and why there's a different vibe on TikTok for sure.
So for me, it's that the opposite.
Oh,
Like I
really? Oh.
native to the TikTok app.
Hmm.
I derive so much affirmation and validation from that app. And I'm very, very much so like, I care what they think about me. There are a lot of creators that don't, but I care. I want them to like my content. I want them to like my wedding. I want them to like
Yeah.
it. Like, I don't think that's a shallow thing to say.
No.
Like, they're the reason for so much of my success. On Instagram, the thing that's uncomfortable is that like I have a community of people that like I was like before I was like a figure on the app, like I had 1,000 followers that were like people I know. So that part about it is kind of weird because it isn't as obvious. Whereas like TikTok, like it's more obvious, like that they're gonna see it. TikTok, I'm like, I don't really know who's gonna see this. Instagram to me, like I just don't really care. Like if I get a ton of hate comments on there, I'm like, like okay. But if the same happens on TikTok, I feel so attacked.
Yeah.
And I'm like so vindicated. And then if that happens to me on Instagram, I'm like, eh. And I think it's because I'm native to TikTok. Like it was my first platform where I started making content. So I'm very much so like, I care so much about what they think. And also Instagram, like I get less hate.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Because I feel like the people who are on there sought me out. Whereas the opposite is true with TikTok. Like you could just be getting fed to people who hate you.
Yeah. How do you deal with the hateful comments that you do get on TikTok on the platform that you really are the most invested in?
I think knowing like who I am is like a big part of it. Like knowing like what's not true when someone tries to come for me. I think it's hard because it's frustrating to be perceived wrong or to have people like believe lies about you. Like that is so frustrating. And you can't, I actually saw Gwyneth Paltrow talking about this on the cutting room floor, which is so random. But she was like, and it made me realize, like, damn, everyone really does feel this way. She was like, it's so frustrating when people just project an idea onto you and they believe it and you can't do anything about it. And I feel that. Like, that's the part that gets me. It's so frustrating. Like, they'll believe the story about you that they want to believe, and there's no getting out of that. And you just have to make peace with that. Like, if you want to do this, that's a part of it. And that sucks.
Yeah. Is there anything about yourself that you haven't shared that you want to share or you're looking forward to sharing with your friends on your platforms?
Probably not. Like, I feel that I'm pretty much myself. Yeah, like, probably not. Like, obviously, I don't share the ins and outs of my like individual relationships and friendships and like familial relationships. Like, my mom has been sick. Like, obviously, like, I have my own struggles and things I go through that I don't share and that I never will. It's just like private and personal. But other than that, no, they know everything.
Yeah.
They don't really know everything about me. They don't know every waking thought. They don't know like how I behave when I'm alone.
Yeah.
But like they know me very, very, very well.
And you mentioned your wedding and you're sort of wedding planning right now. I asked you before we came on what it feels like to be engaged at the same time as Taylor Swift.
It's the best. Like when that happened, so many other people I saw being like, oh, I could share a bridal era with Taylor Swift. I'm like, every single time a woman gets engaged, while I'm engaged, I'm thrilled. Like I love sharing my bridal era with other women. I love like the camaraderie of being fiancés at the same time and like finding out who else is engaged at the same time as you. I love it. Like I really view other women as community always. And like obviously Taylor Swift is not in my community, but like I couldn't be more thrilled for her and couldn't be more excited that like I get to be engaged at the same time as her.
Did your phone just blow up when the news came out?
To be honest with you, my phone blows up anytime she does anything. I'm pretty much at this point like every time, and it's so sweet like that people think about me. Like when she bought her master's back, my phone was freaking. When she got announced to go on New Heights, my phone was freaking. Life of a Showgirl, like it's just anything she does. It honestly like I get a little anxiety when Taylor Swift is moving.
Yeah.
Because for me it's like it's work. Like we're clocking in now. Like
Yeah.
and I'm expected, which I'm so glad people hold me to the standard, but I'm expected to come up with like a highly intellectual, thoughtful, unique and entertaining thing to say.
Yeah.
Which sometimes I'm just like, I just want to vibe out.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful. Like, I would rather it be that way.
Do you ever feel pressure to post certain things?
Like when things deeply impact people that I care about, when things deeply impact people in the world, like I want to be they're sharing. But I do think it's a muddy ground because creators are really expected and held to a standard that if you speak out on something, you're expected to speak out on everything. And at the end of the day, like, one, we're not sources of news. And two, it's sort of exhausting and performative, I think. And they'll claim that it's sort of like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. If you don't post about something, you're an awful person. And it means that like you don't support it and you don't care. When you could be donating thousands of dollars behind the scenes, attending protests, calling senators, calling representatives, doing everything else. If you do post about it, you're performative. I believe it to be inherently sort of performative always to be posting about things, but also I know how much awareness I can bring. So if I can bring awareness, if I can share a donation link, I'll do that. I just try to take it day by day because it's really muddy waters. And again, like it does feel a little bit like a whirlwind because you don't know, like if I posted about everything that ever happened, I fear that that's all I would post. Like the world is a constant churn of terrible news right now. So I try to be really connected with knowing myself and setting my boundaries, but also recognizing my platform as a responsibility. And also like the algorithms do silence certain things and they do not feed them out. So I try to find ways to weave my belief system into my regular content so people will stay and watch. And so it will always be sort of obvious where I lie and where I stand. I just try my best. And I really do hope my best is good enough. Some people will say it's not. Some people will say it is. I believe that it is. That's what matters to me. I do feel pressure, but I believe it's a good pressure because I think the responsibility is definitely there. I just think we get into muddy waters when creators are then expected to speak out on everything that ever happens. And it's like, this isn't feasible and you don't want this. Like, if you followed someone for recipes, yeah, it's great to know where they stand. So you know that you're putting your views in a place that align with your morals and values. And I respect that. But then on top of it, to require them to make a really fleshed out statement that's astute on everything, especially when things are like massive echo chambers or things already have been said, I think that's when we get into a little bit of a gray space that's hard to navigate. So I just try to do my best. I think I do. I'm proud of myself. And I think that's all I can ask for. But I always try to do better every day. Like I'm not like set in any sort of ways or standards as it relates to like how I show up online.
Yeah. And you sort of just mentioned that, you know, if you commented on everything happening in the world, it would take a lot of time and that's all you would be doing. What do you think would surprise people about content creation? Because it is something that, like recording a video, posting the video, that's something that does take time and effort.
Yeah, I would say the hardest part about the job is like maintaining the audience. Like a lot of people blow up overnight and I wouldn't call that hard to do. Like I would call that like a 1 in a million. Like it's definitely a luck thing and a variety of others. But that's not like the hard part. The hard part is like maintaining and growing. Like I think it took me 5 years to hit 1 million followers. And for me, that feels like not that much time. Like I'm like, I did that quick. It was a constant everyday thing where like I never, even through like the biggest routes of like my videos not performing well or like just not growth and things like that, like I just never wavered on it. So I would say the hardest part is really like that maintenance of like trying to keep people entertained, trying to keep people like coming back to your page. I wouldn't say it's like overpopulated or saturated by any means, but there's so many creators making so many different kinds of videos. Like there's only so many opportunities and it's definitely difficult. I also think a lot of people have operated under the misconception for a while that like 1 million followers automatically means you're making all this money. Monetization is not something that's just because you have followers. You need to have engagement and then you need to be brand safe, whatever that means. I can't really tell you, but like that's a term that's thrown around a lot. And you need to sort of be bringing people back to your page and influencing them. Like if you're not influencing someone, even if it's in their lifestyle, it will be pretty hard to influence them to buy a product. So monetization is also something that's kind of tricky that not that many people talk about. I think a lot of people presume, oh, this person has 1 million followers, they're making millions of dollars. that is not the case, which is, I think, interesting because a lot of people would think that would be the case.
Yeah, or they think that if you had one video that went viral and has over 2 million views, that you're automatically making money off of it. And that is absolutely not the case either.
Yeah, you need to like hit a certain amount of followers to be able to be in the creator fund. And even then, it needs to be over a minute long. And TikTok kind of assigns like a rate per second thing. And you don't get to choose what that is. Like you can have a really high performing video that you don't make money off of because your rate is like really low for some reason, maybe due to your past engagement. Like a lot of it is out of our control. So I think it doesn't necessarily mean you're making all of this money. I'm very grateful that I've been able to kind of operate my business in a way that's been lucrative, and I'm always happy to be giving tips and tricks to other creators who want to do the same. But it's definitely like a sticky industry that I think people don't really realize.
Yeah, definitely. It's not like you just make a video and see how it does. There's strategy. There's a lot of things involved here. So, in your book, well, first I just have to ask. You talk about in your book about how you've always wanted to be a writer. I mean, what does it feel like now to be coming out with this book? And then I know you're working on another book, a work of fiction as well, which must be so exciting.
It's so crazy. I feel like I don't give myself that much time to process everything because it all happens so fast. And I just have to sit in these little moments of like recognizing that the younger version of me would just be so happy and like so thrilled and like just so in awe of it all. Like it seriously is amazing. And so I just try to keep myself really grounded in that reminder of like this is what I've always wanted. And I try to keep myself like so grateful and so understanding of like the amount of privilege that I also have that helped me to get to this place. So I just try to stay really grounded in like gratitude for it because I think it can so quickly get to a place of like you're just heads in the clouds, and I try to stay really like close to the ground. And I think I'm really the same person that I've always been, which I think most of the people around me would tell you that. And I think that's comforting too.
Yeah. What was your favorite part of writing this recent memoir?
Oh, I would say maybe finishing it. And that's not to say I didn't love writing it. I just think it was a feat. It was one of those that I finished it and I was like, wow, I really did that. It was not easy. And I think getting to the other side of it was like a sigh of relief, but also just a feeling of like great triumph of like, I really am proud of this book and I'm so glad that it's done.
What was the biggest sort of thing that you learned about yourself in the process?
I think that like you're always going to keep discovering new things. Like it's never going to be over. And like you're never going to be over with this like self-development growth phase of life. Like that is life. Mm-hmm. Life is a series of changes and challenges, and I am grateful for that. And I think I'll get stronger with each one that comes, and I'll be able to manage it better.
I think is once you start embracing that idea, it's so incredibly fun to learn about yourself and learn about, who you were when you were a kid. And you kind of touch on this in the book. Like at the end of the day, we all are kind of like the same person throughout our whole lives. And the older I get, the more I feel like I'm like speaking to my inner child in so many ways.
Absolutely. I really do think that like it's so simple, but so true. Like you're the person you've always been. Like you have changed, but like you are you. Mm-hmm. And that's just such like a crazy reminder. And it shouldn't be, but it is.
Yeah, I love that. So I know you're getting married next year, but the other really big thing happening is that Wicked Part 2 is coming out pretty soon.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, what is like your plan? Are you going to go to like the midnight showing? I mean, do you already know who you're going to see it with? Because I'm already having these conversations with my friends because I think I'm the only person, you're not going to believe this. I think I'm the only person in America that actually doesn't know what happens in Part 2.
That's insane. I don't know. Like, I don't even know what to say to that. That's crazy.
I'm actually like scared. Like I'm nervous that I'm going to be emotionally unprepared.
I almost want you to listen to the Act 2 songs. Just like that would be what I would do. But I'm not like a purist. Like a lot of people are very pure when it comes to like musicals. Like they don't listen to anything before it. I get that. I almost want you to just like, so we know you'll be okay. But to answer your question, like I'm very lucky to have a nice lovely, wonderful relationship with the social team that's been running everything. So like hopefully fingers crossed I'll be able to, activate in some ways with them.
Oh,
Last time I was on like a crazy whirlwind. It was like I was in LA with Wicked team, then I was in New York and I was at all these viewings. I saw it at the Soho House. Like it was crazy. But I have people in mind to bring with me for any opportunities that may arise. My mom did not get a chance to engage in any of the Wicked festivities with me last year. So I'll definitely be bringing her along and seeing the part two with her in some capacity. So I'm very excited. I'm calling November Wicked Month. It was last time. Like I had the best time. I felt like the prom queen at the Wicked premiere last year. Like everybody like knew how geeked I was, that like everyone was just like so happy to see me. And it was such a, I don't know if I'll feel that way on my wedding, like how I felt at the Wicked premiere. Like I take that back. I definitely will. It'll be much different. But like it was so special. Like I was there and everyone was like so excited because I knew how excited I was. And I was like, I'm literally the prom queen of the Wicked premiere.
that's amazing. I would like put that on my bio. Prom queen of the Wicked
Yeah.
premiere.
I like think I was. I felt that way. I was like, this must be what it feels like to be prom queen.
What is your go-to song? Like, what's the song you're singing in the car, like right now?
That's such a good question. Like of anything or Wicked?
Let's just say for now, Wicked.
My favorite song from Wicked is As Long As You're Mine, which is in the second act. So you
Okay.
wouldn't know it.
And it's so funny because my sister, we were a big musical theater family, like big musical theater family. I don't know how we just missed. I think it was because when I was growing up and Wicked came out, it was so big that getting
Yeah.
tickets to see it. I grew up in LA, so getting tickets to see it was really hard and it was expensive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just never saw it, and then I saw part one in theaters, and it just like rewired my brain in a way that I like just can't explain. And the only people that understand are like my fellow Wicked people.
Yeah. Yeah. Your Wicked people understand. Wicked people get Wicked
They
people.
do. Okay, so you're looking forward to that. Also, you're getting married next year. You talk in the book about relationships, you talk about marriage and how weddings and marriage becomes something that's really big in your 20s. Are you kind of now in that phase where you have I mean, how many weddings are you going to this year?
Okay, honestly, not that many, but I am from the East Coast. I think it's like a regional thing where like all the weddings that I've been to are either like family friends and cousins who are like slightly older than I am,
Okay.
or like my fiance's friends who are like from the South. I think like there's a bit of a geographical difference. Like on the East Coast, I think people are getting married later. And then the friends that I surround myself with and by are just like just getting there or aren't there at all. So I know it's a thing, and I've been to a lot of weddings for my fiance's friends, but I feel like I'm like the baby of the group. Like I feel so young to be getting married. I'm a little higher than the average age. I think women are average 26, and I'm 27, and I'll almost be 28. But I just feel so I feel so young. So like yes and no. Like I know culturally in the zeitgeist it's happening and everybody I know is getting engaged, but I'm not necessarily like going to their weddings. So I have a wedding for a friend from grad school and she's older than I am, and I have a wedding for a family friend who's also older than I am. And then that's the only two left this year. And then next year I have mine, and then one of my best friends is getting married, which is great because I love sharing this time with her. And then one more
Okay.
of my fiance's friends. So like I'm not really in it. I feel like I'm manageable, but then I know people that are going to 10 weddings next year.
Yeah.
So like, and I know it's a thing. Do you know what I mean? I feel
Yeah.
like I know it's more of a societal thing than what I'm actually dealing with. I feel so young. I feel like a child bride.
I feel like no matter how old you are, I mean, I got married last year at the age of 37 to my partner that I'd been with for 9 years. And I mean, I still kind of felt like a child bride. Like sometimes I'm like,
Well, that sounds like so perfect because like you know yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, totally.
Like, I don't care when you get married.
And you talk a lot about the age of 22 in your book, and that was the age you thought that you would, that was the age it's like you feel like an adult, and that's when you're going to have it all together.
You know, when I was a kid, like my mom got married when she was like 24. So I thought that was like regular, like how you did it. And then for a bit of time, I didn't even know, like, do I want to get married? Like, I think for a while, and I now definitely feel this way about like motherhood and everything like that. I'm like, do I want to do it? I think it took like meeting somebody that I wanted to get married to want to get married. Like
Mhm.
I was never of the ilk of like marriage is like I was of the ilk that marriage is a goal, and then I wasn't of the ilk that marriage is a goal. And then I was now of the ilk of like if I find someone who I want to marry, then I'll get married, but it's not a goal. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's sort of the way that I always was, which is why I was in my, later 30s when I got married. It was like, it wasn't something that I thought about. And then when it's the right person, marriage sounds like the most beautiful idea.
Agreed. And I felt that same way about children. Like my whole life, I actually like didn't really know if I wanted kids. And then until I met my partner, now that I'm like, I want to have kids with you. I want to be a
Mhm.
parent with you. Like I want to be the mom to your dad. Like I would want to raise a child with you. And of course, I'm still in flux about that. Like I feel like I think about it every day and I don't really know for sure. But
Yeah.
I and I've been very upfront about that online. I feel like no one is ever like, I don't know. And I always see people who just like always knew that's something they wanted. And I never felt that way, which made me feel like a really bad person
Mhm.
and like a bad woman. And then I see people who definitely know that they don't. But the middle people, I like finding other middlers who
Yeah.
like aren't really sure. And I just feel like the same way that I did about marriage now about kids, where I'm like, I just don't know, but I think I know, but I'm not sure. But it really took meeting someone that I was like, I really could see myself with you. I feel like it's my thoughts on marriage and children and motherhood and everything, they change like constantly, like every
Mhm.
day.
Yeah. And I will say I'm also a fellow middler, so I get where you're at. And I do think what has been great about social media is that women and what the time that we're in is women are doing things at different ages and everyone's on their own timeline. And I think that that's been really nice to see, and it makes it a little bit less stressful as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so I could talk to you for probably like another hour about like just Wicked, but unfortunately we can't. Is there anything else you want readers to know as they're getting ready to pick up your newest book?
Just thank you. Like, I seriously, from the bottom of my heart, could never thank anyone enough for reading my books, whether you like them or don't like them. I don't really care about that. I'm just grateful that anyone's reading them. And I'm proud of this book. And I hope that you will be gentle with it because it's so deeply mine and so deeply me that I feel so like apprehensive to let it out into the world, but I also can't wait. So I'm just so happy and thank you.
Of course. Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations. And congratulations on your the one you're working on now as well.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. This was great.